Oh, yeah, there it is. So you just want me to go?
I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Hey there, business accelerators. How is everybody doing on this fantastic Thursday evening for us? It's afternoon for some of you guys. As promised, our weekly special guest is here. We're going to talk about how to not derail your 2020 over the holiday season. So we brought in our fitness expert friend, Anka Urbahn, to talk about, health and fitness and some great recipes. So Anka, take it away.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, Randy. Thanks so much for having me. And I'm excited to dive in right away because nutrition is something, for whatever reason, I love to talk about. And it seems to be, it's a little bit of a problem because there's lots of misinformation out there. And so it's sometimes really hard to understand what can I do, what shouldn't I do? And so for the upcoming holidays, a lot of people are worried again, right? That either, again, they're falling into a complete food coma or they're compromising all their goals. And so there are a few things you can do, and I'm just going to go over, a handful of them. And one of the first things I always say is, because eat. Right? A lot of people, what they do when they know a big meal is coming up, they just starve themselves. They're like, no, I'm just going to keep room so I can eat more. And they think it's actually calorie-wise a better idea. And I always say, and I was like, no, eat, right? Eat throughout the day, even before meal, because then you're not going to go crazy when you arrive and you see all this delicious food in front of you. So that's number one, right? Because in regular life, in order to not grab the things that you don't want to grab every day, you best not have them around. That's my secret, right? When people ask me how I am so disciplined, I was like, I'm not. I just don't have it in the house because otherwise I would eat it. I have a sweet tooth, and chocolate and cookies, they don't survive long when they're around me. So, however, during the holidays, right, when you walk into your family's house or your friend's house and there's all that delicious food, what are you going to do? So again, best is, well, don't go there with an empty stomach. Eat something first, right? The next thing is water. Water is our friend, right? It's very easy to dehydrate, number one, which also makes us just more tired and sluggish. But also sometimes then we are thirsty and it masks us hunger, right? And we eat and eat and eat when all we really need is just a glass of water. And then those hunger pangs are gone, or even those cravings. Then when it actually comes to eating, I always say, well, if you want to be careful, fill up your plate with the good stuff first, right? Get the veggies, get the turkey. And then when there's the room on the plate, right, you can have a little stuffing or mashed potatoes or the gravy, right, all the carb heavy stuff, the ones that we want to be a little careful with and the ones that really make us tired. We always say it's the turkey that's make us tired, right? No, that's not it. It's usually all the other fun stuff that we're putting in there. So, and then another really, really important part is don't beat yourself up if you actually indulge more than you think you wanted or should have, because it ruins your day. Don't worry about it too much. I love to think of the tire analogy, right? When you have a flat, when you break down, like you don't walk around and step the other 3 tires and you're like, well, that's it. No, you fix that one, you go back on the road, and then you don't think about it any further. And that's kind of what you do when you have, again, when you dive in a little bit too deep, or if you have one cookie too many, as you may think, then just don't worry about it and just, move on. And next day, just eat well again. Another really important one, booze. Empty calories. It's fun, right? Like for some actually it tastes good. Like I definitely do enjoy my glass of wine. But again, lots of empty calories that oftentimes we start eating more when we have more alcohol, right? Because all the good intentions go out the window and oof, everything tastes even better. So careful with booze. And you probably have all heard that, right? If you have a drink, have some water in between. So again, just to fill yourself up, to stay hydrated, and to, well, just not drink that much alcohol. Another really good one you can do is bring a healthy dish, right? No problem of actually adding something healthy on the table. and sharing it with others. So maybe just as an offering, or that something healthy is there, something that's maybe not as carb heavy or not as sugary as what you want to ingest.
Especially if it's something that you like. It's one of your favorites, so you're more likely to eat that if it's something you brought, I would think, as well, right?
And I find it's also a really good way to introduce a dish, or like, because oftentimes, like, we talk about food, right? And someone asks us like, oh, did you make this yourself? How did you find the recipe? Why did you make it? Right? And you can be like, well, I tried it out and made me feel really good, right? I started eating cleaner, and there you go. And it can just be brought in, and just by talking about how important it is to you to make these changes if you want to make them, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to force someone else, but you can open it up as an option. Sure. And introduce it that way without someone being defensive and you thinking you want to tell them what to do, right? It's just like, you're like, no, I just share a favorite of mine, and here's why. So that's a good way to get people to open up to new ideas. Another one, just all over for the holidays, right? Let's try to avoid stress. I don't know, 2020, that's a little harder, right? Like, I mean, it's just been one stressful thing after the other. But obviously stress is a massive trigger, right? I call it the seafood diet, right? Anything you see, you just want to go for. So trying to avoid that, and maybe focusing a little bit on what are the holidays really for, right? It's about the people. It's about actually hanging out, like, and spending time making wonderful, fond memories with our families, our loved ones. And it's actually not so much about the food. So that's just a good reminder. But basically also the last one is just enjoy. Just celebrate and enjoy. And again, if you're overdoing it a little bit, don't worry too much about it. Just move on, right? Don't overdo it day after day after day after day. At some point it has to be enough. But again, don't worry too much about it during the holidays, and then just jump back on the wagon when you're done. But yeah, these are little tips if you want to maybe be a little bit more careful. So, but I don't want to completely get away from food. So let's actually get towards recipes. So I brought 3 recipes with me that I wanted to show you guys, and it's stuff that I really like, and they're super easy, because for me it has to be easy. I don't like cooking. I don't like spending time in the kitchen, and so the less the preparation time, the better for me. And I love instant gratification. So generally when I'm hungry, I want to eat. Like some people are like, oh, let's make dinner, and then it takes another hour. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I've died of hunger. I was like, no, I'm hungry, I want to eat. So
Yep.
He snacks while he's cooking, and then he's like done eating by the time the food's out.
Yeah, see, I don't cook. It's really funny. I like, for me, it's almost like a workout session, because it's the same. When I'm in the gym, I focus and I go, and then I want to get out of there. And that's kind of what I do in the kitchen. For me, it's just focusing on the work, cutting, and cooking, and then I'm out of there. So I don't even actually really take the time to eat in between. But things that I love doing, I love to utilize the slow cooker. So is it possible for me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Okay. Let me show you. So.
Ooh, yum.
Right there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Old turkey chili right now. So this is one of my favorites. Really easy. I always have boiled potatoes in the fridge. It's just something I do. I love potatoes. I'm on a potato trip right now. And even though I utilize all the other complex carbs like rice and quinoa, and I don't know, right now it's potatoes left and right. So I just always have boiled potatoes in the fridge, because I can just easily warm them up, right? Add them to any dish. Or even fry them in the pan. Yum. It's the same with vegetables. I usually have a vegetable dish that's already ready in the fridge, usually 2 or 3 different ones, so I can choose. And the main dish, the meat dish, is also oftentimes something that I prepare ahead of time, and I make a bigger portion. So in my life, leftovers are my friend. I eat them all the time, and I don't mind. So I have like 2, 3 dishes usually in the fridge during a week that I can choose from. And what that means is, right, I just go to the fridge, grab it, plate it, warm it up, done. And within 5 minutes I eat. So that's how it works for me. And that's how I stay nice. Because if I get hungry, right, the comes out. So, and as you can see, I actually put in like how to make it. And I'm happy to share that with you guys if you want to share that with people. Yeah, I wanted to just share the photo because that's literally how I eat, right? I have my portion of protein, I have my portion of vegetables, I have some carbs. And in this case, I used avocado as a nice addition of a healthy fat. And again, the beauty about it is you can all prep it beforehand. And the meat dish is just done in a slow cooker. You literally, all the ingredients in there, you just put it in, and then 6 hours later you eat. Delicious. Done. It's everything just in. I literally just opened the package of chicken breast in there, all of it, and done. And then 6 hours later, the house smells nice, and then I have my food again for the week. So the next one is, So I don't eat much bread because, well, I'm from Germany where we actually have bread. Here in America, some of them are a little questionable. So it took me a while to find something that I actually really liked. And I prefer the Ezekiel. It's not made out of any flour. There's no flour in it. It's really just all whole grains, which is what we want. Anyway, it also tastes really good. But my whole point about this one is you just need a can of tuna, right? And avocado, because instead of tuna, I just use avocado, mesh it together with whatever else you put in a tuna salad, right? I just usually use some green onions and that's it for me. In this case, I sprinkled it with tagine. Have you guys heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh my God, it's so delicious. And that's it. Again, it literally is something that takes 5 minutes. While the bread is toasting, because of course it has to be toasted, right? I just fix the tuna, 5 minutes, and I'm like, I'm in heaven. It's one of my favorites. I love it so much. And then the last one, let me see. It's something that I actually just did yesterday, and I took the photo because I knew I'm coming on. And it's literally like, we call it, like my grandmother used to make it, and there was never a name for it. So she just called it egg dish. And all it is it's so simple. You just use a carton, right? These little cartons of ready egg already, like 1 16-ounce one of ready egg, one of just egg whites. Put the spices in. In my case, I just used some salt, pepper, paprika, oregano, and then just crumple a ground turkey in. And if you have any veggies, in this case, I had peppers, just add them too. In the oven for an hour at 375. Done. Again, you don't really have to do anything.
Or an egg casserole.
Yeah. Say that again?
It's like an egg casserole, basically.
I don't even know how I thought about it again lately. That's what I had in the fridge, I think. I had these eggs and I had the turkey, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I don't want to cook. And I was like, oh, this is easy. I'll just put it in a dish and in the oven, and then in an hour I can eat. And so these are my favorites. They are more, but I number one, I love whole foods. I really mostly eat whole foods. I don't buy things out of boxes, really. I prep all my meals myself. Didn't you say that you do that too?
Yeah, I can't eat any packaged food because my allergies. I never can tell what's in it exactly. So,
I mean, on one hand, I want to say sorry, but on the other hand, well, that's probably kind of a good thing, right? Because you eat well.
Packaged food to begin with, but obviously now I have to be worried I'm going to have a reaction versus just not eating it. It's not great for you.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it's not worth it, right? Isn't that the truth? They're like, no, it's just not worth it. That's really what I always find is the outcome. But anyway, these are just 3 easy recipes, quick to make. They're delicious, right? Because you got to utilize spices. People always want to put sauces and I don't know, cream and salad dressing on stuff, and I was like, spices, people, spices.
The American way. Put a sauce on everything.
Well, that's why I'm so happy that we have so many other cultures,
right?
Because they're teaching us about all the other things. And also you become really friends with hot sauces. There are amazing hot sauces out there. There are great mustards out there. Yeah, all my
Awesome.
clients did eventually always shift over to all these things. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea all these spices that are out there. And I was like, I know, it makes food so delicious, right?
That egg dish is pretty cool though, because it's almost like a quiche without the crust. And you could swap out the turkey for ham, or bacon's probably not your favorite, but occasionally you could use bacon for like variety.
Okay, everybody has to have bacon once in a while. Oh my God. Right. And like I choose the one that's sugar free. Like also I'm spoiled here in the Bay Area. It's really easy for us to get really, really good whole foods from surrounding farms.
Right.
Right. Can order it directly from a farm, and I know it's from happy animals, and I'm eating good quality foods, but I also know that they were treated humanely. So I'm really spoiled here. I understand that it's not always so easy in other areas. But obviously if we have that available, then yeah, right. Let's take
Yeah,
it.
we miss getting the food from California, because I use goat butter and like goat milk because I'm not supposed to have cow. But now I can't get goat products here. I have to get them from London.
That's such, oh my God, I had no idea. So can
Right?
you get
Like in a major metropolitan food area, that like people must not eat goat products here.
crazy, huh? That's insane because it's so delicious.
Right?
Right.
Right?
It's healthier.
Oh.
It processes faster.
Yeah, now that you say it, I haven't had cheese in, I don't know, like a few months back. I did the Whole30. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate cleanse, right? People think it's a diet, and I was like, no, it's a cleanse, right? It's just to get you back to eating whole foods only. And since it requires you to cut out dairy, and I haven't gotten back to it. I haven't.
Yeah, we don't have dairy. We have goat cheese though, like cheddar cheese, which is hard to find. Same thing comes from the
Cheddar cheese. That's the one time when just remember, I'm like, that's when I have, when do I always have cheese? Well, when I have a burger, of course.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, that's super easy. I like how easy you made it. And you're right, like eating some water, having some water and drinking or having a snack before you go to a party so you don't eat all the bad stuff is.
Well, I think overall, I appreciate your approach to health and fitness, in particular with food intake, because you make it simple. You make it like it's not a diet, right? It's not a hard thing. It doesn't have to be a complete overhaul of everything you eat. Start with, as you've mentioned before, maybe you have a bowl of oatmeal instead of the sugary cereal several times a week, or substitute one thing. And it doesn't have to be something you just drop the hammer. Okay, tomorrow I'm all done. But slowly incorporate that into your lifestyle. And I think that's a huge important message.
So
yeah, I think the important part is just, you have to do it though. Like
right.
oftentimes it's just, oh, it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. You have to make it happen, right? It's never going to be easy, even if we're slowly introducing it. And we're like, okay, this week, let's focus on maybe having only 1 tablespoon of sugar in my coffee. It's going to be a change, right? But the point is, like, you still have to make it. You're still going to be pissed, at least that first morning, of like, well, this doesn't taste right. You have to unfortunately go through these things. But, I wish I could, like, I'm sure you have that in your business. You wish you could get people to just be like, well, if you only knew what it could be like, if you have it all set up right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if you knew what it feels like the way I feel it, because I've been living like this for so long. And Hilary, you probably know, since you're forced to eat well, but obviously it makes you feel a certain way. And like, you can't explain it if you've never done it.
No,
and so
you can eat the other stuff once you get off of it. It's like, I can't even eat the gluten-free bread. Most of them I don't tolerate very well at all. I don't process them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but absolutely. It doesn't have to be overnight, and it doesn't have to be a crash course, but the point is still, you have to make that change. No one can do it for you, right? It's your body, your house. You should take care of it. And I always like to say, and I was like, and once in a while, we maybe also want to just a little bit act like adults, because would we allow our children to eat like candy all day long, every day? No. Right? We'd be like, nah, that's not a thing. That's not okay. So, and yet we do it. And then we negotiate with ourselves every day. Oh, I shouldn't have these shit. Oh, I do have it anyway. And I'm like,
so what's your opinion on coffee?
oh, I love coffee. So,
are Or how do you do it well if you want coffee?
So when you say my opinion about coffee, whether it's good or bad, or
how, I mean, I know we can't get most people to give up coffee entirely. So a good way to take coffee, if you like,
I think
one
the flavor,
cup or like.
I think it's less about the coffee, but what you're putting in the coffee would be my
yes.
guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So actually coffee is really not, it's gotten a bad name, right? Oh, it's bad for you. And I mean, some people have to lay off because their organs are a little working too hard at some point. Other than that, if that's not something that's stressing your body, if you're not getting the jitters or anything, there's really not a problem with coffee. It's a stimulant, right? It does help you wake up. So what I do is actually, I can't believe you're asking this. This is just something I recently did again, because I love coffee and I drink cups this size, 3 or 4 a day at least. And
I'd still be awake the next day.
And I love my coffee with cream because I love it gives it a little bit more thickness, right? It just takes the acidity out a little bit. And I'm just like, oh my God. However, if you drink 4 coffees like that, that's a lot of cream. That's a lot of empty calories. Right. I could afford them, but I don't necessarily want to. And also I'd rather have something else than just getting all those fat calories in with that cream. So what I've done is I decided, I was like, what else can I do to make my coffee creamy and like a little thicker and, without the cream? Collagen peptides. I'm sure you've heard of it, right? It's like this whole idea about like, it's good for your skin and your nails and your bones, collagen.
Yeah.
It's like abundant in our body, and you actually can put it into your things. They use it also for thickening of soups. It's basically gelatin, right? That's kind of the idea. And you can get that in powder form as collagen peptides. And what they did is they strip it off so it doesn't thicken, because otherwise you can't drink and you just have this. So anyway, it's collagen, which it's not a complete protein, right? You can use it as a protein exchange. However, you're actually doing something good for you. Like research, right? I mean, is it great for you? Does it really help your nails and your hair? I think for me it does. Maybe it's placebo effect. I don't care. Point is, like, it's in my coffee. It makes my coffee so much more delicious. It just thickens it a little bit and gives it this creamy kind of texture. And again, instead of actually adding empty calories to it, like in cream form, I, in this case, actually add some type 1 and 3 protein in there, collagen, which is actually good for my body. It's actually helping me. So that's a little thing that I did for me, because again, 3-4 cups a day. Whew, I was like, and I don't want to do it without cream. I've tried, I promise I did. I was like, no, I don't like it. So that was my little solution. I don't do sugar. I do a tiny little bit of stevia.
Which collagen do you like? Which company?
Which what?
Company do you like for the collagen, or where do you get yours?
It doesn't matter. Honestly, because if you go with a company that has a name, it's just more expensive. If you buy collagen peptides, they're all the same.
Okay.
I've checked, they're all the same. I have one that's not even a name right now. It's just something I don't even know what it's called. Just collagen peptide, but I literally go by price. Because if you look at the ingredients, it's always the same. They're all, it's a very simple ingredient. It's not difficult it's not something mixed. So in that case, it's really just smart to look for price.
So Amazon or somewhere else? Where are you getting it from?
Amazon definitely has it. Yes. But I also supplement stores still have it. You can get everything online. Yes. And Amazon has everything too. Or maybe have like a local store that you can support, right? I mean, that's always the one that we want to rather do. But for convenience reasons, it's definitely online available. But anyway, that's the little trick for me about coffee. And with clients that come to me and, like, for example, Harv in the beginning, right? Their macchiato every day with the 3 pumps and they literally start slow. They're like, well, I'm asking for 2 pumps only, or I'm asking for 1 pump only, right? So basically what you said, Randy, it's not giving up coffee. It's just trying to take all the extras out of it. Right. And that happens slowly too. And oftentimes I don't even say anything anymore. And then my clients just tell me, they're like, ugh, I drink my coffee black now, it tastes better, because their taste buds change, right? It becomes more sensitive. It all regulates again, because you're not getting this over sodium or over sweetened stuff in there when you don't eat out of a box anymore all the time. So it sometimes happens by itself, just because you keep making good choices everywhere. And then it just becomes this, right? It just all starts to make sense and becomes intuitive. And
Kind of like when you give up the bun on the burger. I remember doing that like 5 years ago. And then it was like, everybody's always like, oh, no bun. Like it's some travesty. And I'm like, who cares? And then you get to the point where you're like, I don't even want the bun. Like, I don't.
The thing is, again, right? I love the bun. There's no way that I'm not going to have the bun. However, I couldn't care less whether you have the bun or not, right? That's always what I think about food. And I was like, just you eat what you want to eat. Let me eat what I want to eat, right? And don't force me to drink with you if I don't want to drink. I don't like to drink. It's not really my thing. And that's more the thing, right? You do yours, I do mine. If you want to talk about it, we could talk about it, but it's not there to judge you, what you do, right? To just enjoy, and don't force other people to eat your things. I think that's for me a problem, right? When I come with a dish and I was like, well, Randy, if you don't eat it, I don't like you anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I have that problem a lot with my allergies. Some people are like bent out of shape, and I'm like, it's not bothering me, it's bothering you.
Yeah, don't let them, right? Just be like, no. It's so funny. I did this analogy with a client recently where I said, like, here's a syringe, just inject it. She's like, what? And I was like, I made it for you. If you're not going to have it right now, I'm going to be really upset. I made it just for you. Right? She's like, that's insane. I was like, I know. How is that any different, right? If me forcing you to have this cake, or, and sometimes it's in the family, right? The grandmother, but it's again,
for sure.
With my grandmother, I'm going to say something like, well, grandma, this looks phenomenal. I can't have this for breakfast right now because I can't have, I'm just not that hungry, but please, can I save it for later? Because I absolutely want to have it.
So to wrap up, 2 things. Tell us, what is your go-to breakfast? And then tell people, like, if they're interested in working with you or how to get a hold of you, what kind of services do you offer exactly?
So my breakfast, which is pretty much the same, is, well, coffee, very important. It has to have coffee. And then I usually just, again, right now I'm on this potato thing. So I even have potato for breakfast, which is a little weird. Usually it's more like oatmeal or brown rice, which I just spice with a little bit of cinnamon. Yum. And because it gives a little bit of that sweetness, which I like, which you know, like satisfied my sweet tooth. And I have lots of egg whites. So I usually have 1 egg and 5 egg whites, because I want to get the protein in without all the fat. It's good. Eggs are great. I love them. But it's too much fat if I want to get that much protein in. And the way I train, I really need to eat a lot. So it's important to get the protein anyway. That's usually my breakfast: eggs, rice or oatmeal, and coffee.
So do you use the egg white out of the carton, or you separate them yourself?
It depends, you know, like if the cartons are available, I do that. I love you can't get them yet organic, which is a bummer, you know. Right. So, and I like to buy them from also pasture raised hens. And so sometimes I actually get the eggs and I just separate it. And then oh, sorry about that. Wow. And then, hi, I'm awake now. And then my dog gets the yolk. He's happy. Perfect. So that's what I do sometimes too. But I don't want to do this all the time with if I have 5 eggs every day. I feel like wasteful. So it's like, you know, I change it up depending on.
Never thought to give the dog the yolk. Our dog likes eggs. She also likes berries, asparagus, and cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe and watermelon, yeah.
It's very strange dog.
My dog doesn't eat anything that's raw. Like he will eat the cooked veggies, and obviously he will eat any meat that I have, but like fruit or raw veggies, no, he doesn't want that. It's right? Oh, he's asleep. Good.
Yeah, so awesome. So tell everybody what your company is called and how to get a hold of you. And
yeah, so I'm the owner of MIndSets, and that's MIndSets with an S, MIndSets Fitness. And that's where you can find me too, on my website at mindsetsfitness.com. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram under the same name. I'm also on Pinterest. So there are lots of things. It's all under Mindsets. And right, because the idea behind, for me at least, is that we got to wrap our minds around that whatever we do with our body is our choice, right? No one has a say in that. That's the first thing, especially for women, and also for women to be like, you can dream for more, right? It's not just we don't have to settle, and we can ask for what it is we want, right? Whether that's losing some weight, whether that's gain some muscle, whether that's just getting healthy, or whether that is your wish to rock that bikini next summer. There's nothing wrong with that. It irks me that that's still something that women should be ashamed about. Where I'm like, no, if you want to look a certain way and you want to work for it, fantastic. And so that's what we want to do, right? To elevate, mainly to elevate women, and again to challenge themselves, and so they're not afraid to ask more of their body, and to figure it out. What I want to do is I want to enrich them with the knowledge of how to eat and how to train to get their body to look and feel exactly the way they want, right? No more wondering like, now I had this big meal, what am I going to do next? Or
Right.
I gained all this weight over the holidays, now I want to lose it, what do I do? And that's like just answering that question once and for all, to never have to go back to that again, because once you figured it out, it's something you can apply for the rest of your life. That's what I'm trying to do at Mindsets. And yeah, it's again,
lifestyle, right? The lifestyle change. It's not a diet. It's not like do the fat.
it's never a diet.
Yeah.
No. And it's also really, really important. That's, I think, the one thing I can stress enough. It's not about getting into that old idea of diet culture, body, bikini body, right? Like getting skinny or thin or just starving ourselves. It's nothing like that at all. My clients eat lots and lots of food. That's the most important thing, right? We eat a lot, but we eat a lot of the right foods. But there's no starving. Everybody always eats a lot more than before they started working with me. Right? Again, it's just eating the good things. And that's really important, because it's all about getting stronger, right? If your goal is getting stronger and challenging your body, then only good things will come out of it. You will get healthier, you will have more energy, you will sleep better, you will look better. You will look better. And that just makes you feel better. Like let's not fool ourselves, right? We all love it. It's not about that. I always say that it's not about that, because it's not about what the world thinks about me, but it's about how I feel in my skin. And if I feel awesome and great about this, right, I step out into the world with a complete different confidence, and more capable of being there for everybody else in a much more positive and uplifting way. So yeah.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out and joining us and speaking to our audience. We'll make sure to drop your website in the comments below, and maybe if you want to drop those recipes for those, because quite honestly, all three of them look incredibly tasty. So
Great.
we may be shopping for those in the next day or so.
Yeah, you should try and then let me know how it goes. And thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to eventually get in business with you, as I mentioned already, right? Like I need to get stuff taken care of in January. I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, oh, it's getting busy and I can't wait for you guys to help me through this mess.
Yeah.
So before it even gets messy, you guys just like, no, let's not even let it come to that point, right? Like from everything that we've talked about and from what I've seen, I was like, oh, yes, I'm ready.
Definitely easier to set up a system first rather than cleaning up a mess. We were just talking to somebody about that today, who said she didn't do her accounting all year, and now she has to hire somebody to clean it up. And we were like, yeah, it would have been easier to just do it the right way the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like, it's important. Like this is lovely because it's important to me who I work with, right? And just what you guys always put out and what you explain to me you do sounds just so reasonable to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you're going to do this, but yeah, that sounds great. So I'm super excited, and I'm glad that you guys do that you take care of that. And yeah, I can't wait to jump in with you and have you tell me about your expertise and what you're really good at.
We'd love to. It'd be great.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yes, you too. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.